Ever get that itch? That feeling you got to push yourself, see what you can really do.
We all have those moments, right? That desire to test our limits.
Exactly. But today we're cranking that up to 11. We're diving into Hercules at the top of his game, deciding, you know what? I'm going to challenge all the gods of Olympus to a fight.
It's wild, isn't it? Even thinking about it. Hercules, already legendary, going up against, well, the top dogs of the cosmos.
Insane is putting it mildly, but that's what makes this story so good. So paint us a picture. Where's this throwdown even happen?
It's not like they booked a stadium. This all goes down on Olympus, the gods' home turf.
Okay, already intimidating.
Right. Imagine those palaces, the air practically buzzing with divine energy.
Yeah.
Intense. You could cut it with a look.
I'm getting chills just picturing it. So Hercules just walks into this VIP lounge of the divine and throws down a challenge. How does he even start?
He doesn't just challenge them, he calls them OUT. Our sources really emphasize it's not just about wanting to fight, it's Hercules questioning their whole deal, their authority. Like he's saying, you're gods, prove it.
Now that's an entrance. I can practically hear the whispers, the gods going, teach us.
Oh, totally. And that's the hero's journey right there. Breaking boundaries, going beyond what's expected, even for a demigod as strong as Hercules.
So, scene set, challenge issued. How does this brawl for the ages actually kick off?
Well, who better to start than the god of war himself? Ares. Our sources describe him practically shaking with excitement to throw down.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
This is a guy who practically invented fighting.
Right. Exactly. And their fight, it's not just a scuffle. This is full-on Clash of the Titans. Every punch from Ares, you can feel the fury of war behind it. But here's the thing. Hercules doesn't just defend. He goes on the offensive so hard that he clocks Ares into one of those grand columns we mentioned earlier.
Whoa. Talk about making a statement. So, one god down, they all just line up for their turn.
Not exactly. The other gods are watching this all go down, and they're starting to realize this isn't just brute strength. There's something more to Hercules, something even they gotta respect.
Okay, now I'm hooked. So who steps up next?
Poseidon, god of the sea. And let me tell you, his attack is something else.
I can't even imagine. What does an angry sea god even do? Summon a tsunami.
You're not far off. Our source describes it as this massive wall of water, a tidal wave so powerful it's practically unstoppable.
Yikes. Even with Hercules' strength, I wouldn't want to be in his sandals right then.
And yet, somehow, he tears through it. The source really emphasizes how shocking this is, even to Poseidon. It's like this raw power, this pure will. Even the gods are thrown by it.
Okay, this is getting good. 2 down, Hercules still going. Who tries their luck next?
Apollo, god of light, music, all that, and his attack, truly something to behold.
All right, give me flashy, but deadly. Does he blind Hercules with sunlight?
Think bigger. Imagine the sky suddenly filled with miniature suns, each of Apollo's arrows burning with incredible heat. Our source goes all out, describing this almost poetic, this rain of celestial fire.
Whoa. It's like they're putting on a show of force, but individually. Ares with pure war, Poseidon with the ocean. Now Apollo's got this heavenly laser show. Beautiful, but terrifying at the same time.
Great observation, like each god proving a point. Not just to Hercules, but each other too. But the key thing is how Hercules survives. No magic item, no god swooping in to save him, just sheer grit. Refusal to back down.
Okay, I'd be exhausted just watching this. But what's going through the gods' heads now? They gotta be realizing maybe they misjudged this demigod a little.
And that brings us to the turning point, when Zeus himself steps in.
Oh, now things are about to get real.
You said it! Even the gods who are just fighting, they back up. Silence falls over Olympus. This is Zeus, the big guy himself, and his power. Different level.
So what's he do? Snaps his fingers, Hercules is dust.
He summons his lightning bolt. But not just any bolt. This thing's described as being able to split the world in two. Even the other gods are nervous. That's how serious this is.
Goosebumps just thinking about it. Okay, I know it's a story, but that moment when the dust settles, they have to be expecting a smoking crater.
And that is where this story gets truly fascinating. Because it's not that Hercules survives. It's that he's still standing. Defiant.
Whoa.
Right? And that is what shakes the gods, this mortal, this demigod who dared to challenge them. He embodies something they didn't expect.
Okay, now I gotta know what happens next. So we left off with Hercules beaten and bruised after that lightning bolt, but still standing, still defiant. You said that's what got to the gods, but what happens next, T? Does anyone even try to fight him after that?
It's interesting you put it that way because it wasn't really about just winning at that point, was it? I mean, Hercules had to know going in, he couldn't actually beat them all.
Right, it was about making a statement, more like.
Exactly. And that he was still there, after Zeus himself let loose. That said it all.
Okay, but how do they react? The gods? Do they just kind of back down awkwardly?
Well, this Saius Hercules we're talking about, he's not done yet. Remember, this isn't just survival. He's fighting to be heard, to prove something. So even though he's got to be hurting, he refuses to back down.
Talk about stubborn. Most people would be begging for a healing potion or something.
Right, but that's what's so important here. It's not just his muscles anymore. The source emphasizes this. It's his spirit now, pure willpower taking center stage. And that, even the gods don't know what to do with.
Okay, gotta process this. Dude takes a lightning bolt to the face, and he's still ready to fight. What's going through his head? Is he just trying to make them madder?
Beyond anger at this point, I think. He's doing something they didn't think was possible, even for a demigod. And it forces them to face something. Maybe their power isn't everything. Maybe strength is more than just being a god.
So not about winning the fight, but proving a point about what? Free will. Even when the gods are breathing down your neck.
There you go. He's half god, half human, stuck between two worlds. Maybe this whole thing is him breaking free of that, showing he decides his fate, not them.
Whoa, okay, that got real deep, real fast. So how do they react individually, I mean? Hera, suddenly his biggest fan.
Not quite. But even Hera, and you know she's not exactly pro-Hercules, even as she is affected. Sources describe their faces, changing anger, sure, but also confusion, maybe even a little respect, grudgingly.
So they're seeing him differently, not just some rebellious kid, but more.
Exactly. And it's not just the others. Zeus, he just blasted him with the biggest gun he's got, right? Here's the thing. Zeus lowers the bolt. Doesn't get rid of it, but lowers it.
Okay, gotta unpack that. What's that supposed to mean?
It's not giving up, it's acknowledgement. Zeus, right then, he sees Hercules as defiance, not as disrespect, but like a reflection of himself. Hercules is his son, after all. Maybe in that stubbornness, he sees something familiar.
Whoa. Okay, so this has gone way past the simple fight. It's about
ideals, the old ways, the gods being on top, versus even a mortal pushing back, exceeding what everyone thought possible. It's a story that's always around, isn't it? Even today.
Man, you're right. That's kind of mind-blowing. So what happens? Does the fight keep going? So we're talking ideals, mortals pushing back, but what happens? Hercules actually wins this impossible fight.
It's more than just winning or losing, and that's what makes it so powerful, the fight itself. It did what it needed to. Hercules made his point.
By getting hammered but refusing to quit.
Right, that resilience, that spirit, even the gods, they have to look at him differently now. And that's what it's all about. Not beating them, but making them listen. And now they are.
So how's it go down? Zeus just throws his hands up, calls it a draw.
Zeus speaks, yeah, but it's not an order, not anymore. It's more like understanding. Our source really emphasizes the change, not anger now, but well, you can hear it in the way he talks. He gets it now. Acknowledges Hercules' spirit, that iron will, and he tells the others to stand down.
Man, that's got to be tough for a god. Especially Zeus, right? Top dog giving in.
Yeah.
Says something about what Hercules did.
For sure. It means Hercules changed something fundamental. This wasn't just about who's stronger anymore. It was the whole system, the way things are, and someone saying, no, I don't accept that. Even Zeus, he has to acknowledge that kind of power.
Okay, hold on. Mind blown. So they back down. What's Hercules do? Claim victory. Rub it in their faces.
And this is where you see what he's really made of. He's got to be hurting, but that fire's still there. Makes it clear he wasn't looking for their permission. Wasn't about him beating them. He proved something to himself.
That's amazing. So how's it end, this whole epic showdown?
The source paints this incredible picture. The gods, all of them, even Hera, they bow their heads. Not defeat, but respect, recognizing something huge just went down. This guy, a mortal, shook Olympus to its core, not by being stronger, but by being that unbreakable.
So he won by never backing down from what he believed, even against goddies. That inner strength, it forced them to see him.
And that's why we're still talking about it. Thousands of years later, that potential is in all of us to take a stand, even when it seems impossible.
Wow. If the goddies can be moved by that, what does that say about us? Something to think about. That's it for this deep dive, but we'll be back with more stories, so stay tuned.